try this bad boy again. I think we may be live. Got to find a way to kind of test that out.
Working at the kinks. I mean, Michigan State and Duke both.
All right, now I can finally get the game up.
Oh, I can finally get the game up. Hopefully.
All right, try testing out. Can you hear me? No.
All right, can you hear me again? All right, I'm on. You're not, Nate.
Can you hear me at all?
Okay, now I can. There we go.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, good.
Good?
We're good.
All right. So it comes in over the stream. All right.
Game time.
I think we're good. All right. Well, that took a little while, but here we go. All right.
The Duke Michigan State on one that's coming in that I'm see game because 23.
Yeah. Because I think, if I remember, Wolfer got smoked by someone recently, and Tennessee really nice.
And defeated, but they just haven't played anything.
I thought, and then Wisconsin, Providence, that one's a big surprise for me.
Is, but I think it's official that I can.
I had Wisconsin, and I thought it was at least going to be a close game.
Coach to ever lived, apparently so. I think that's awesome.
actually do not. That's not.
Yeah, they got smoked by Holy Cross. Not good.
Dude, I'm pretty sure this isn't going to work on my computer. I just think it's my computer getting overloaded.
I gotcha. Do you want me to try hosting the OBS and sending it?
I think you're going to have to, because even when I start, it like
Okay.
bugs out and the audio craps.
All right, take over the stream. Let's see if the audio is getting a little bit better here. Can I adjust this? Pop us in the middle. Beautiful. Much better? All right, take over the stream. Let's see if the audio is getting a little bit better here. Can I adjust this? Pop us in the middle. Beautiful. Jackson, you want to hit us with a quick word?
Oh, we already in?
Yeah.
No, that was quick. How am I sounding? Can you hear me?
Jackson, you want to hit us with a quick word?
Oh, we already in?
Yeah.
No, that was quick.
Yeah, you sound good. All right, let's rip it.
Lee, it keeps saying Jackson.
All right. Well, while you're getting that up and running, yeah, Georgetown took an L to Holy Cross, which was awesome. Although Ed Cooley is confident that he can bring the Hoyas back to their former glory. Nothing else really of note. UConn's having a nice little game against Mississippi Valley State.
Yeah, but you see, I mean, what are they? 42-point favorites, so technically
Yeah,
they're
really.
disappointing.
Underperforming, if you will. I swear to God, Morehead State plays every day. I didn't they just play yesterday?
It was very recently.
They took an L to Purdue. I must be thinking of somebody else. There's somebody who has that exact same, eagle head.
Oh man, I don't even know what I set. See if that's useful. Whatever the files.
Let's see if we
File
can
saved
this.
as. So yeah, if you go to scene collection import,
Yeah.
I suppose that may work.
Like it worked. I got to host the single game, the head-to-head. Let's do that one. That looks beautiful. I don't have the TV mirror, but we can work on that in a minute. In the meantime, let's make sure that the audio is all good here.
I listened to it a few seconds ago. It was all right.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that sucks. I'm gonna have to figure that out still.
You know what'll make you feel better? Some college basketball.
Very true.
Because tonight is an absolute banger. I think these might be some of the best matchups we're going to see all year.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, so it's like the first week of basketball, no one wants to play anyone. Then they want to play, they want their test before the feast week games. And then after that, it's just dead until kind of conference. It's kind of a weird little thing.
It's such a shame because college basketball comes out to such a limp out of the gates. We got lucky this year with a JMU Michigan State Cinderella upset, but it's like, outside of that, we haven't seen a ton of chaos.
Yeah. Well, and no, we've seen way more chaos, not at the top level.
Yeah, the mids have been really
The
exciting.
mids are
JMU
showing up.
again.
It's going to be scary this
JMU
year
can't
to play some of these guys that win their conferences. I'd rather an at-large bid than some of these guys.
Yeah, no kidding. Izzo having a nice little word with one of his players, talking him up. That's where I think Michigan State has the edge on Duke tonight. I think Izzo's just a much better coach than Shire.
Yeah, I don't know if Coach K's still in his pocket or what it is. I'm still not convinced Shires is the guy.
He's got the little earpiece and like.
I don't know if it's the recruiting. It's just he's still involved or something. Oops.
I can't imagine that he would dedicate his whole life to university and then just like sneak out the back door and never talk to anyone again.
Oh, he was at the game the other day.
Yeah.
I remember it because I was worried for his wife and what is that, the iron deficiency or whatever when you get really pale.
Yeah, when she steps out into the light, if she just dissolves like tissue
I
paper.
mean, he's not far behind her. They haven't seen sunlight in a while.
Well, they're inside. They're analyzing tape. He just makes her like sit behind him and be like, "Nice job, honey."
You still matter. You're not defined by basketball.
I promise you're not totally irrelevant now that you've left the game.
I still think eventually
Look,
he's going to show
your
up.
book was on the Bear.
Yeah. Well, that's that. He wants to be in the Bear. I know that. So maybe he'll get into acting. But I've always thought it was going to be a different sport. Just like
He would be the
skateboarding could
least
be Olympics,
charismatic
and all of
TV
a sudden, like,
character
he's,
of all time.
Well, no, he'll talk like this and he'll talk about greatness.
I would kind of be there for
Definitely
like a Ted Lasso style crossover where he just goes to India and coaches cricket.
Actually, I think you have something there.
Let's make it happen. I don't know who we need to call.
I think we just need to call Coach K. He'll make it happen.
I'm going to dress up as a 17-year-old boy and post a bunch of videos of me playing basketball online, and then he's just going to show up at my door. I think that's how it works, right?
I think you have to be taller and, I don't know, lankier, more hated.
That's just a trick of the light.
Well, I think it's really the hated part. Like, you know.
Oh, that's true.
Maybe not everyone sees you and they instantly, hate you, but or like you, but like you don't have
that
the
comes with
hateability
time.
of, like, I don't want to punch you in the face when I see you. Like
maybe
I
a day or
choke
two
out
later.
Cooper Flag if I see him. I wanted to love him, but had to break
Cooper
my
Flag
heart.
would eat you for breakfast.
Yeah. What do you want me to say? That I could take on the 7'2" guy?
Yeah, I want some confidence.
I got to get inside, man. He can't really
Inside the
grapple.
reach.
Once I take him down, man, who even knows what's gonna happen?
That's so true. Kid won't know what hit him. Just like fucking Wisco. The Big 10 is soft this year. I think we can all agree on that.
I thought Providence could have been a little soft this year. I was a little worried for them.
I don't know. The Big East just looks like such a top conference. I think for me, it's SEC, Big 12,
Why is it even
Big
an
East.
option to open up a game and it just not to be live? My Duke Michigan State was like 5 minutes behind.
Are you streaming with ESPN?
That it is through YouTube.
Hmm.
But why is that an option? I've had the game on since the start, and it just I don't know. You got any mid-major games you're looking at tonight?
Let me pull up my list because I actually had a few.
I think there's a pretty good one on right now with Hofstra, George Washington.
I was gonna say that Hofstra team is one that I've kept my eye on. They were my pick of the week or the pick of the day the other day, and I think they're pretty solid. They're gonna be fun to watch this year. How about you?
Yeah, I have Hofstra in that. There were some mid-major spreads I didn't understand. I think Mercer's a pretty good team. Morehead State, I could have sworn they played like last night too. Maybe it's a little tournament that I just forgot about, but they were favored by 4.5 points. I think Mercer can take that one, so I'm looking for a close game there. And then Toledo Wright State, I'm looking for a good one.
Okay, can see that.
Of course, you got to shout out my boys UMass Lowell. You know, they had a big game against Georgia Tech tonight.
All about
See if
them
they can
Riverhawks.
shock the world.
What
Georgia
about
Tech's
this
not a very good
Chattanooga
team. Dude, that's actually my pick of the day today.
Yeah,
I did not get that one at all. Bellarmine is, what were they? D3 or D2 2 years ago, last year, going
Mhm.
against a Chattanooga team that I think is pretty decent this year. And I just think it's
they
going to
took
be
down. They're the team who beat Louisville by 10. Like,
exactly. I
not
mean,
that
not
Louisville
that
was anything special.
yeah, it's nothing to pat yourself on the back and call Oma out, but still. Yeah, so between
It's not a bad one.
that and Toledo Wright State, I couldn't pick a pick of the day, so I picked both of them.
Hmm.
Chattanooga
like it.
minus 6.5 and Toledo money line. Straight up. You got any picks of the day for me?
Let me take a look at my sheet. Colgate is smoking Syracuse, by the way. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I see
That
that.
is
I got the
awesome.
little quad box going on. It's funny too because I know Colgate's a much better program, but out of Syracuse and Penn State, I just had a weird feeling Penn State maybe kind of tested a little tonight, and they are
Yeah.
blowing out St. Francis. Syracuse, who I thought maybe could show up, first real kind of test for them, and woof.
They did not. We're still learning that zone, huh? Or that man-to-man.
No, they still want to play zone. They have no idea what to do out there without a zone.
Oh, for my pick of the day, I'm gonna go with one of the high majors that I'm gonna die on this hill, but I just don't think Illinois is that team this year. They're so overhyped in my eyes. Not that I think Marquette is necessarily fourth in the nation or even top of the Big East this year, but that was definitely a travel, by the way. But I'm taking Marquette as my pick of the day, and I'm gonna stand by that. The line's 1.5 Illinois, so it's anybody's game according to Vegas. But I mean, it's in Champaign, so maybe Illinois gets a little bump there. They do got a pretty rowdy student section that we all love to see. They're one of my favorite student sections, just because they're absolutely
Especially
awesome on
because
the
of
road.
that, and because Marquette can't play defense, I thought that's going to be over City today. I mean, that
What's
game to get
so
both put up 80.
What's so surprising to me, and I know it's just because it's so early in the season and like the computer models don't have enough data to go off of, but Ken Palm has them 39th in defense.
Yeah, I didn't get that. I mean, yeah, Kemba's weird. He definitely needs a more stat line to actually play. I think
For sure.
maybe it just doesn't make sense this early in the year.
Yeah, it's
Give him like a week or two. Maybe he'll get there.
maybe they'll drop to like 100th, which is where I thought they were going to be defensively.
Well, it's also they're playing these scrub teams. Once they play some actual teams, that are just going to get worked.
Yeah. Well, I mean, today's the the day, right? Is this a scrub team in Illinois, or is this their first real test? And um, I think you've got two guys on Illinois who can show up on any given night, TSJ and Coleman Hawkins. Um, so it could be Illinois' night. It could be a big tough game. UCLA is popping off on a lot of people's boards, so that's going to be a huge game. Wisco, who knows after this Providence game? UT, it's a great game. We've got some tough out of conference games coming up here, so we're gonna see what the Golden Eagles are really made of.
So do you think that with Nova's loss the other night and Providence stepping up tonight, they're that team? You know, I think there's a real go for number 4 in the Big East, and I think this kind of shows they're them.
Yeah, I mean, I think that like so early in the season, I try and stay away from the rankings and I just put them into tiers. And I think there's a clear tier 1 where it's for me UConn and Creighton, and then there's this kind of tier 2 where Marquette's sitting alone, and then tier 3 is Providence, Nova, St. John's. I hate to put St. John's in there. I don't even know if I want to put St. John's in there.
I don't know, man. Did you hear Patino's back at the Garden? I don't know if you heard that.
That's all I heard about. My goodness.
I found out what happened with my YouTube TV. For whatever reason, when I was clicking off of it, it just was pausing.
Yeah.
And then would just start playing right when I clicked back in. So, you know, a cool little feature. So I'm just far behind on the live stream.
What do you think of this Duke Michigan State game so far?
I mean, from what I've seen, you know, the Duke is just a better team. You know, I think we were a little misled with Michigan State. Maybe towards the end of the season, you know, I think they did this last year too, where, or no, maybe they started off a little hot, but they got better as the season went on. They got a lot of young guys. I think Izzo could develop them, but especially someone like Duke who's coming in with the experience, they just can't really hang. I mean, they just popped it up on the screen, but you know, some early foul trouble. They're just showing their youth, and dude, I mean, wasn't even a great shot choice, but they're just making them.
I mean, that was like the allure of Michigan State, though, was that we were going to have this perfect blend of seniors and freshmen, and it was all going to be so cohesive. Well, I mean, no, because you've got AJ Hoggard on Michigan State. You've got Walker.
Well, yeah, I mean, you are right. The better face of it, but
they are playing so sloppy. Like,
yeah,
this is bad fouls, bad decisions in transition. Like, leaving your feet on defense. Man, oh man. Give me JMU and Duke. I'd rather watch that.
JMU, I think I read that it was their first time ever in the top 25, which I mean, I could definitely believe. I think they deserve it.
Yeah, I do too.
Those 2 tough games that they showed up for and they won. I mean, what was that? 3 overtimes in the first 3 days of the season. 2 games. Crazy.
Yeah. That's a lot of basketball to play.
It's a lot of basketball.
So I've got another question that I wanted to hit you with on the stream. Do you think St. Mary's deserves to be top 25 still?
I had a little trouble getting them up there, if I'm going to be honest. I like them, and I think like rankings always get tough because, you know, if we're talking power rankings, I think they are, you know, top 25. They can, you know, beat the, you know, 300 and whatever teams below them in the, you know, top 25. But rankings wise, I don't think you can put them there. I don't think that was a good loss, and I don't think they're going to have the strength of the schedule, you know, or any strength of wins, because it just kind of showed me they're going to have a hard time with Gonzaga. You know, I was really high on New Mexico, so I was surprised they kind of showed up against them and not whoever that was the other night, but
Yeah, for me, it was just outside of Mahaney, there was nobody who really looked like they wanted to play or score or do anything for that team. It
yeah,
just felt flat. And like, if your game is gonna ride or die on Mahaney putting up 20 points and getting 5 assists and shooting 50% from the field, like, he's an incredible player, but I just don't know if he can do that night in, night out, especially against some of this tougher competition.
yeah, for sure. So what their schedule's looking like coming up.
They got SDSU as their next game.
Well, that's going to be a tough one.
And it's going to be a tough one.
I don't know, because I think SDSU is a little bit of, I won't say fraud, but
They were riding high
we'll say fraud.
After that national championship appearance, for sure. Dude, like every play on Michigan State just seems out of control, like outgunned. Just that is bad basketball. I wanted to root for this Michigan State team real bad tonight. They're making it tough.
Yeah, I mean, I like Duke this year just because I think they're good, but I also hate Duke, so I'm in a tough mix this year. I think Michigan State's kind of falling into that Purdue spot. They're just a team that people feel like they love hating this year. People were licking up their tears on that opening night.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I am curious how much of that like preseason ranking came in because it is Tom Izzo and because you do have all these incredible recruits and you're just like, well, 2-2 is 17, so they're going to be amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've talked about it before, but I don't think preseason ranking should be a thing.
I don't either. I don't know if ranking
throws off our expectations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's annoying because it's something that they're going to point to. You know what I've been seeing a lot in people's like critiques? Because I've been going back and forth on if I had to put a number to it, like who's my number one? Is it Purdue or is it KU? And I've seen a couple people's arguments where it's like KU is not the number one because they lost an exhibition match against Illinois. And at some point, you're kind of like, well, it's an exhibition match. It doesn't matter. So can you really count that against them? And I swear, if I hear anything about that in March, about Illinois being like, well, they did beat Kansas in that exhibition game. Maybe we should give them a bid. Or maybe we should bump them up a seed. I'm going to lose my mind. It doesn't make any sense.
There's no way. There's no way. I think it's something we overact to, at the beginning of the season, but you got to throw that out.
There's so little to sink your teeth into. I'm surprised we didn't hear more about like the trips that all these teams went on, the international play that went on, because that's so telling to me. More where it's like you get to see how they gel, you get to see how they're playing. That's actual competition for them, So I'm surprised. I would like to hear more about how all those trips went.
Yeah, because every team takes them now. I mean, obviously we had Tulane going. What was that? The World Collegiate Games. That's a good little warm up for the season. But I know UConn.
I trust Tulane.
Yeah, hey, I mean that's the war. We can't say that the American is this amazing conference. They've probably got some equal play. You think a Tulsa is going to beat some of those teams?
They're looking pretty good, man. I mean, you've got.
I kind of just bullied on them there, but you know what I mean.
You got Memphis this year too. I like me some Memphis.
Well, the American is high up top. I like Memphis. Yeah. Obviously FAU, and then we have our NIT favorites UAB and North Texas from last year.
Hell
but,
yeah!
I mean, once you get to the bottom,
green, baby.
Oh yeah, Tulsa is trash. I was right. I called that right.
You're gonna get some interesting letters in the mail, Jackson.
Dude, if that's how we start getting some views, is just because I hate it on Tulsa, that would be hilarious. Should I just start picking on random fan groups?
Yeah, dude. Like, who do you want to hate? San Francisco?
I like San Francisco, man.
I like San Fran too.
Yeah, they're looking good this year. I think they blew out a few of those teams they played.
You know who I absolutely hate though? Is Samford.
Okay. Stanford or Samford?
Samford.
Oh, so you must have been pumped when you saw them on Purdue's schedule.
Oh yeah. I was eating. That was my Christmas morning.
And then as a non-Syracuse fan, must be your New Year's Eve.
I'm just having lots of little parties throughout the year. Yeah. Celebrating. How is NCAA men's buried so deep in ESPN that I can't get to it?
It drives me insane that I literally, like, at this point, all I want is like it should know what I want. Current day, sorted by Division I basketball. That's all I want. I can't even get that.
I just want a different platform altogether.
Oh man, yeah.
Let's dive into some of the numbers at the half. Michigan State Spartans shooting 15% from three.
Yeah, I just
They
pulled
can
that
just
up, dude.
not
Their
buy one from
three-point
deep.
shooting is just trash this year. It's crazy.
I think that's what we're seeing here is like they don't have that true big, and Izzo kept saying we're gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine. We don't need a true big. That's not today's game. But if you don't have a true big, if you're not gonna play with your back to the basket, then you gotta be able to hit threes to stretch the court.
And I can only
what are you
imagine.
doing here?
It's the same, not that Tyson Walker's having a good day either, but these guys, Hoggart and Atkins and Hall, like they are shooting just awful this year. We got 0 for 2, 1 for 3, 1 for 3. I mean, they are bringing down averages. They are hurting this team at this point.
They really are. But what do you throw your freshman up there and say, go get him, kid?
I mean, at this point, obviously this is a game you kind of prepared for in the preseason. So you just go out with what you have. But moving forward, you got to start reevaluating, get some guys some confidence in there. I think he is trying to do that a little bit. We're seeing a little more minutes today already, which is a little surprising against Duke. But
I mean, they have to. 11 personal fouls.
I can't see this getting better for them as this game goes on. Yeah, and they already highlighted that foul trouble. I know it's not some of the bigger guys, but even when your bench is in foul trouble, these guys have to play so many minutes.
Yeah, if fears can't come into spell, like that's a tough one.
All right, so I gotta reevaluate Wisco. That's for sure.
Yeah, really.
I think they're a team I just generally like. So I wanted to root for them. I thought there's some wide open space in the Big Ten just for another team to rise up, but it is not them. It is not Maryland. Who is it?
I'm trying to rack I think it's, for me, a sleeper team, and I was going to save this for later in the pod, but Iowa's kind of a little bit sneaky this year. I think that they could be something. Indiana has scraped out those 2 wins by the skin of their teeth.
I know you're not high on Illinois, but they could also just be that team that just is kind of there, beating all these lower teams. So I think Iowa is the right answer, though. Their offense is kind of humming. Defense, that could be a problem.
Yeah, it could be. And to finish up our talk on the Big Ten, did you watch that Purdue game?
I saw bits and pieces.
They look so good to me. Like, they've got it figured out. And it's not like, they've mastered rocket surgery. They've got a giant fucking presence in the paint.
Yeah,
But I think what it
that's
is like
all they did.
Edie kind of learned how to play that defense a little bit better, where he's just always in the right spot, defensively speaking, to just mess with your head.
Yeah, I mean, he got 4 blocks last night. I mean, that's a good night. 28 points. Xavier actually surprised me. I thought they
Me
were going to be a
too.
team that kind of fell in the Big East. So for them to even kind of show up, what they lose by 12, that's pretty impressive. It was
I
just
agree.
Edie though. It seems like the only way you could really take Purdue down this tier is if you get him into foul trouble or he has an off night. Otherwise, he's just too powerful.
Yeah, I think you can beat him from the 3 because there were some moments there. Xavier struggled from deep. I think they only shot 28%. If they had been hitting, yeah, Olivari was 0 for 5. If he knocks down a couple of those, who would they bring in to be their sharpshooter that was just missing him? Trey Green shot 9 threes and only hit 2 of them. You see a couple more of those go in key moments, and maybe the momentum shifts a little bit. I don't know.
Man, how you let him take 9 threes? 22 minutes off the bench, and he's putting up 9 threes.
I'm sure Sean Miller is just like, you got the green light. Go nut. Like, what is your game plan against a team like Purdue at this point?
Honestly, get your bench out there early and just have them foul the shit out of Edie to make him a little angry. I don't know, man. You got to do something about him.
Just start punching his knee, just trying to like weaken his structural integrity as a human.
If it was UConn, you send out Bobby Hurley in a big old thick boots, have him stomp out some ankles.
The Always Sunny episode.
That's exactly what I was thinking of. Some Tims on the court.
Hell yeah.
Hofstra George Washington is turning out to be a pretty good game.
I mean, those are two. I haven't actually seen much of George Washington. I like Hofstra.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, this was another one I thought was a little, Hofstra favored by 1.5 points. I thought that was a little oversight.
Yeah, for sure. Ooh, we got Texas A&M, SMU tipping off. SMU came in surprisingly high on KenPom.
Yeah, I mean, I do think they're, especially, like I said, that American is kind of, reshuffling a little bit. So I think they're going to race to the top just, with all these newer teams coming in. This game may be a little outside their coverage, though.
Yeah, starting off 0 for 7. Jeez. It's a tough way to start the day.
How does a Disney-run website and ESPN crash as I'm trying to look up scores?
The racist mouse shut you down?
That's just crazy. It's just scores. I mean, is it trying to install some malware on my computer in the background and couldn't handle it?
It's trying to subtly stream The Mandalorian in the background of your computer to just bump the numbers.
We see you currently got rid of Disney Plus. If you think you could use any of our services now, you are mistaken. Doesn't look like there's too much exciting stuff going on. Virginia is handling North Carolina A&T. West Virginia is up on Jacksonville State. That was the one where I was like, okay, keep an eye on. Who knows what can happen.
I mean,
Toledo, Wright State,
WVU.
another mid-major game that's gonna be good. That one's looking up. Sacred Heart, Holy Cross. Wow, Harvard up by 24 on Northeastern. The nerds are coming out this year.
Go Ivies, baby.
I've notoriously been anti-Ivy. Bunch of nerds. but
The
maybe I
nerds,
have to
the
change my
revenge.
ways here.
They're playing out the plot of Revenge of the Nerds. They're coming for you, and you will not be safe.
Wow. I think beforehand we both talked about Bellamy and Chattanooga. Chattanooga
Keeping it
was
close.
looking to blow them out. Yeah, it's close.
We got a little UConn in the meantime during this halftime. Boys are looking good.
Yeah. I mean, they're just an incredibly deep team again this year.
Which is so awesome to say. It's funny looking at like the freshmen of UConn coming out versus the freshmen of Michigan State.
Well, a little easier when all your starters show up too, and they're just getting some good warm up minutes.
When you have an incredible leader in Alex Caravan, and he just shows you the way, takes you under his wing, gives you a big old smooch on the kiss.
We got Marquette and Illinois tipping off as well.
Yeah, I saw that.
You sound so excited. You
I
just
want
hate
to,
Illinois this year.
I want to like Illinois so badly.
No, you don't. You want to hate them. Don't lie here.
I think I want to shout out Connor Stevens if you ever watch this. I want to like.
Did you
him
say
for
Connor
you.
Stallions?
Connor Stevens.
That's just the
Damn,
worst name.
Yeah, sorry. B tier Connor Stallions. Damn. Danger coming out. I think one of my problems also is that Dane Danger just does none of the things that I want my big man to do. Like, he doesn't rebound particularly well, and he can shoot off the block pretty well. He just leaves something to be desired.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you there. I think that he's exactly what this team, if he's oh my God.
How do you miss that?
That was painful. If they have a big man, if he's what people think he could be, Illinois will be a good team. But I'm kind of bags out for him too. We'll see how he is, dude. It's just like Marquette needs these baskets. If they go down early, I don't think they could ever really catch up.
Can we talk for a second how UConn didn't get invited to the Gavitt games? Defending
I was
national
also
champs.
Did we get something else?
We
'cause
got
have
Jimmy
all these-
B. but-
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Like, is it because
Empire
one
Classic.
of those types of tournaments is like at war with the Gavitt games? Of like, whoa, you played that? No way.
I can't imagine anyone takes fault with the Jimmy V Classic, but I could be
But
wrong.
I actually had one I was thinking about, and it was that the Big Ten was like, did you really schedule a Big 12 game in our face with Kansas? That's fucked.
Damn. Marquette can't buy a bucket.
No kidding. No kidding.
Brad. You think Brad's on the hot seat?
don't think he should be.
He's good enough.
It's
I mean-
also, I mean, these days it's not like you're pulling people from the NBA. Who on the coaching carousel is up next? Who are you
Yeah.
getting?
That dude from North Texas is already taken, so there's really nobody else I want.
Well, that's why the second you fire
Yeah,
him,
somebody from the mids.
he's the
Yeah.
number one coach out there. So why not just hold on to him?
Didn't he get the bag the other day?
Did he?
I think he's like one of the top 10 highest paid coaches. We didn't talk about all the fucking money that Bill Self is getting paid. Oh my god.
Well, he's one of the. You know how the highest paid state employees are always coaches,
Mhm.
ADs, stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
Kansas has to be one of those states.
Like, what's the median income for the state of Kansas? It can't be
Yeah,
that
right.
high.
I would think with someone like Kansas, it's not even one of the coaches. It's definitely the AD. Football and basketball. That guy's paying himself a nice
Yeah,
little
for
salary.
sure. Yes, he's made himself a nice little nest egg there, which is crazy because what did he get? 5 years, 54 mil. It's gonna buy you a lot of corn.
A whole lot.
You think anyone on Marquette's gonna make it to the league?
I don't know, man. My sense of that has been destroyed.
Yeah, I think
It's just
like
it's so tough
Oso-
these days. It's just the kids that hit growth spurts their senior year.
yeah, you're not wrong, which is wild. I still hate kids who are like 20 years old, already 6'7", and they're like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna grow another 4 inches just to really rub it in Nate's face.
You're short.
Yeah, they just come over and they look down on me. I think Oso could play like that stretch 4 coming in. He's kind of got that build of that dynamic player. Get to the rim. Needs to work on his shooting, but other than that, could be an interesting player. Kolik's like an awesome guard, so
Well, that's why the guards are always so tough because half the time they're like, oh, they're too undersized, but you don't need height. So I don't quite know what it is.
he's a little small, but he's a great facilitator. See if I can get that quad box. Let me see if I can get like. I wish you could customize your views on. Oh, actually, I got Marquette, Illinois, Duke. That's actually perfect. Let's go.
Oh wait, you got Duke up there in the quad box? I couldn't get that.
I got Duke, Michigan State, and Marquette, Illinois. It's exactly what I wanted to watch.
I never know. Like sometimes I'll go on and they'll just be like, "Yeah, no quad box for you tonight." And then other times I'll go on and I'm like, "Here's a perfectly crafted quad box for you." They just don't make sense.
All right, Michigan State making a little run here, making it interesting.
Okay, there we go. Shuffle up these screens a little bit now. All right, what other game do we have? I guess I got to pull UConn up.
Just gotta watch the boys.
You gotta put it up there. Probably one of the biggest mismatches of the day, even though they're not quite acting like it right now. Gotta put it on.
Hell yeah.
I think with days like
For-
today, the NCAA should really we should just get random days where we have games all day. Get all these mid majors out
love
at
that.
noon.
Does that fuck with the kids' school schedules? Like, not to be.
School.
That's gotta be difficult. Yeah, I
Are
know.
we talking
It's
school?
crazy.
I mean, for the most part, yes, I agree. But then we have UNC. I mean, oh no, they can't take class 101. So
Well, that's gonna pay dividends in the long run. When you pass class 101, you set yourself up for a long and successful life.
I haven't heard a big academic scandal in NCAA in a minute. Started looking the other way, maybe.
Yeah, I think they're just butthurt that the NIL stuff is changing, and they've got like 10 transfers that haven't had their waivers approved, so they're gonna be tied on up with that for at
There you
least
go.
another
Ooh, that's a
17 months.
fundamental layup right there.
Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, you telling me that won't play in the league?
But again, you just never know with people like that. You know, kind of like a Peyton Pritchard, where it's just like, I didn't think he was going to have a next step in the NBA. And he's a worse shooter than Kolek.
Kolek's all right. I'd have to see the numbers, but I think Kolek's like, what, 35, 36%? Damn, that was a nice little move inside. Love me some Big East basketball.
It's so weird where I pick and choose because, like, I was so happy Villanova lost the other night. But, you know, obviously that's bad for the Big East.
I was a little upset. I think that we have a chance to be one of the top conferences this year. I'd
Yeah,
love
but I
to send
also think
more
our
teams in
power,
the
I
Big
mean,
12.
obviously our power is all at top 10 teams. I mean, that's huge.
Yeah, for sure.
Ooh, that was a weird shot. And that was an ugly pull-up jumper for Michigan State.
Their shooting is just abysmal. They need to be like 5 feet from the basket, or they're just trash. Defense is looking better this half, though.
Surprisingly, Marquette's just kind of taking it to the rim.
Does Marquette have a pure outside shooter? I know they had. Oh, is that Proctor? Man. See, that's where Duke gets me, where it's like they go a little bit cold, and then Jeremy Roach or Tyrese Proctor just hits a crazy three, and you're like, oh, shit, okay. Yeah, they're back in this. Damn. That was a nice little move. Hall going up against Flip. That's a wild matchup.
No kidding.
Good for him, man.
Damn, I didn't notice. I just saw pop up Cam Spencer has 22 points.
Yeah. They've been letting him just pull.
They really haven't let these new guys cook too much. It's good to see.
I mean,
they've been big
Hurley
facilitators, but well, exactly. Hey, I'm fine with it. You know, Hurley knows best. But it's nice to see them get some shine here.
I think Hurley is the only coach I've seen where he calls out a guy and then they actually show up. Like he was hyping up Cam Spencer. Cam Spencer's a great shooter. I think we all knew he was going to show up. But the one I was surprised with was Samson Johnson, because I saw his name pop up in one of Hurley's press conferences, and I was like, there's no way. The guy who averaged like a half a minute the entire season is going to be one of our like foundational rotation pieces, and he played so many minutes already.
Yeah. It was especially after losing Sanogo last year. I thought, you know, Klingon's a great player, but we need someone to step up behind him because he just couldn't play those minutes. And here we are with the same exact thing we had last year, where it's like, wow, this is almost unfair. We have this guy coming off the bench.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh, gotta love UConn basketball.
Oh yeah.
Basketball capital of the world. I don't know where that started. Can you just call yourself anything you want?
Yeah, man. Of course.
Could I dub my basement just the Mecca?
Well, I think that's already taken. You know, you gotta come
I
up
gotta
with
be
something
more creative
original.
then. I'm not testing any. I'm gonna dub the Taj Mahal of hoops. Beautiful.
Yeah, there you go.
This is that we already have our our propaganda posters. This is one of our saints. Let's see how Illinois responds to some of this pressure. Ooh. I didn't know they could hit a three-pointer.
What do you mean? That's like their second or third three already.
Quick answer.
I've been sucked into these, these high-powered games, dude. We still got a slugfest in the Hofstra of George Washington game.
I know. Well, the
49-49.
scheduling this year has been so odd because you'll have one or two like really slow days, and then there's one night where you just don't have enough eyes to watch all of the content you want.
And I mean, they've always kind of done that, but it's just, and I get it so far, but it's always been Wednesday, Saturday. But this year there was like, you know what? I don't know. Tuesday, Friday is looking pretty hot.
Tuesday's real hot. No,
I
no
get the
Monday Night
Saturday.
Football to compete with.
Yeah. They hate going up against football. I get Saturday. The NCAA wants to make all their money in football. God forbid that we, have a little basketball on.
God forbid we dissolve the NCAA as an organization.
No, that'd be awful. Please.
Who would take all our money? All right, state cruising. Chattanooga still in a bit of a battle there. Damn.
Yeah, that one
I grabbed a
surprised
small
me.
TV.
Especially for, I watched some of that Chattanooga game. Usually I'm not this wrong with a team I have seen a little bit about.
Solid E.
Yeah, there's going to be 1 million points scored in this game if Marquette starts hitting their shots. They're
For
just
real.
running down court and just
No
whipping 'em.
defense.
No defense. Take a shot before it hits 20. Yeah,
That was a travel and a half.
I just don't think Michigan State has this year to run with Duke.
No. I don't know where they fall for me, where they really sit.
Oh,
They're
man.
still a team that sheesh.
Duke is going to be a team that that loss to Arizona was not a bad loss, and
No,
I think it was honestly a little surprising.
I think
They're a
it
good
speaks
team.
to me. It speaks more to how good Arizona is going to be this year than to how bad Duke is. Like, that's a totally reasonable loss because Arizona is going to be really good.
Yeah,
Jeez.
Pac-12's only hope, only real hope. I'll put it that way.
I don't know, dude. USC looks.
Oh, I forgot about USC. I
No.
forgot. It's just so funny because they've been kind of irrelevant the past few years. So I was
Yeah.
thinking, like, okay, not UCLA, Colorado, who knows, but maybe not. Yeah, forgot about USC.
Collier
they're-
is.
They
Dirty.
Collier's the man. He is real good.
Is this a? Why am I seeing a GCU commercial? Okay. It's a weird ad space to purchase in a Illinois Marquette game, but
Hey, man, don't question their ways.
Who am I to question the
Who are
intelligent
you?
budget spending of?
Did you said GCU?
Yeah.
I always thought they were like a for-profit school. When I found out they had a basketball team, it kind of blew my mind. You know, it's like the University of Phoenix having a basketball team. Just feels weird. The rookie situation, you just got like a 40-year-old freshman who's just nasty at three.
It's just Jimmer Fredette with a crayon. I am 20.
Yeah. Hey, I don't know, man. I don't know the rulings. If I never went to college,
This show supports continued education. That's a promise.
I want 10-year eligibility in the NCAA.
Hell yeah. I want people working 2 jobs and then coming and playing on the team. You don't even know who's on the roster.